Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Tony Glasgow, and I'll be talking today with Margin Hooks. He's a local trainer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he's very successful. He's played collegiate ball. He's played in the pros as well. So he's going to talk with us a little bit and just kind of give us his insight on what's happening now and exactly what he's doing. So I'll go ahead and bring him on right now. How you doing this evening, Coach Hooks?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me.
All right. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for being on. So I know it's been a little while since you've been training and everything, but I want to go ahead and start back at the beginning of everything where you were. Before you get started, one thing I didn't know the last time we talked, we're from the same hometown. We're both from Waco, so that's a little bit of a connection we have there. It's kind of good to see some Waco boys out and doing good things, so that's a good thing. So you want to go ahead and kind of tell everyone about what's going on with you?
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Yes, I'm pretty much like a local trainer here in the DFW area. Going on probably my 15th, I'd say like my 15th year training. Mm-hmm. Since I stopped playing pro ball. But like I said, it's been, I would say, somewhat successful, usually because of, the parents that I have that support me. And it's been a blessing, something that I never could have foreseen myself being at this point with the training. Mm-hmm. But it's a blessing to have the type of support I have from, the parents who, allow me to work with kids.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your past. Like I said, you're from Waco. You went to Waco High. And just kind of walk us through that, going to Waco High and what you did in your collegiate career.
Waco. Graduated 1996 from Waco High. Played high school ball there. Ran track also. Man, it was a different experience, man. It helped me, build my foundation to who I am now. Mm-hmm. With some of the people I ran across, whether it was little league coaches where I played with the YMCA Elks all the way to middle school, where Laker Middle School, and then on to, Waco High, where I played under Coach Johnny Tusa.
Yeah. Hold on just 1 second. I want to break you off because you mentioned the Elks, man. Because I remember we were at La Vega, and we were average or worst at best. So whenever we played the Elks, man, we were terrified. That black and orange, man, you knew you were gonna get hit when you had that ball. So I'm just bringing back a little bit of memories from Pee Wee football playing against the Elks.
I'm one of the last of the few, the last part of the Elks, So mm-hmm. I think the Elks may have lasted probably maybe 3, maybe 4 or 5 more years after that, and it kind of dissipated. There's Southern still there mm-hmm. in the area, Southern Panthers. But man, Elks was a force, man, and the mentality that I have now, man, it stems from some of those coaches. Yeah. That I was, just fortunate to be up under. Man, just being a man, being, tough and gritty and not quitting. Yeah. It finds some in me to go harder than before. Yeah. So I do give credit to those coaches when I played youth football.
Oh yeah, they definitely had some grit. I remember one time they must have slipped up on some kind of coverage. I ran a sweep, and I was just wide open. It was like a 50-yard touchdown run. Boy, they were mad. We gonna get you, boy. You ain't run no touchdown on us like that. And they were just, like you said, tough and gritty. So.
Because that was doing the young age thing, and going through there, like the middle school and the high school. It kind of took off there at high school. All through those times, I played running back in DB. Mm-hmm. So when I got to high school, I remember junior high, my principal 8th grade year, seventh on stage was asking me, what are you playing for high school? Football. I told him, I was going to play running back. And I remember him, his name was Mr. Clayton. He was assistant principal at Laker Middle School. Mm-hmm. And he sat there and told me, he said, son, he called me that Joker. The Joker, you're not going to play running back. I'm like, huh? I'm going to play running back, Joker. Too small, Joker. You're going to have to play receiver. And the crazy thing about it, I saw him probably maybe 10, 15 years ago. I went back home for a funeral, and he was there. And I saw him, man, and I thanked him. He's not saying, you don't realize how you blessed me just with those words. I like everything you told me I had to do, I did. I moved receiver, I played receiver, and I think I'm a Hall of Famer at Waco. WISD, I'm a Hall of Famer. I got inducted in 2019 to the WISD Hall of Fame, playing wide receiver position. So it's those little small things that mean so much to me.
Yeah.
Those people that cross my path, and I do my due diligence to let those people know if I get to see them again, and thank them. And crazy about it. Probably about 4 or 5 years ago, about 4 years ago, I saw my old coach for the Elks. He lived across the street from my parents in Waco. And I had an opportunity to go and just sit there and just laugh and talk with him, and thank him, and I'm glad I did, because probably like 6 months later, he died. It's those type of things like that, man. And it's like, you just never know what's going to cross your path and how time is going to function. We had no control over it.
Right.
So it's just like that. I believe in giving people the roses while they live. For those that help me, I love to say thank you, man, and give them credit.
Yeah.
Because without them, there wouldn't be me.
Yeah. Yeah. You need that support system for sure.
Yes, sir. After Waco High, I signed a scholarship. I played with BYU. Under Lavelle Evers, who's my head coach, who, to me is one of the great men that I've crossed paths with, from a whole different background, culture, but just seeing him as a man, he helped me so much. Not just what he did for me, but just seeing him and how he handled his business, everyday business, and then how he also responded to me, who's someone who's totally different than him. I'm not from Utah. I'm not a member of, I'm not Mormon or anything, LDS. I'm a young black man from East Waco, Texas. And he set me in open arms, and he respected my background and my culture. And in return, I respected his. Nothing was forced upon me, They brought me in to play football and get education. And I learned from them as they also learned from me. So that right there kind of helped. It tremendously helped me become a man. Leaving home and being in an area that's pretty much alien to anything I've ever seen. I've been around.
Far away from home too,
Yes, and not just surviving, but I thrived.
Right.
Played 4 years at BYU, graduated in communication, broadcast journalism. After I left, now how I can look back and I'm voted top 5 greatest receiver of all time to ever play at BYU. Even to this day, and I still have top 100 greatest of all time. There's different accolades, personally I've been able to accomplish, but I wouldn't have been able to accomplish those without great teammates that I played with. Great coaching staff that kind of allowed me to kind of spread my wings and just fly.
Right. Was he your coach the whole time you were there? Did you go 3 years or 4 years?
I went 4 years. Actually, my first year I redshirted. My red shirt was 96.
Okay.
Actually, we went 14-1, number 5 in the nation. We won. We actually came to K-State, played the Cotton Bowl. So then Peter Sarkisian was my quarterback there. The head coach of Texas. I played with Dennis Simmons, who's also the receiver coach at USC. As many people that have crossed my path that I actually played with, who are still in the coaching game now. The head coach of BYU, we were team captains together.
He's what? He's what?
The head coach of BYU, Kalani Sitaki-Fafita, we were teammates, but we were also team captains.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen you. So, he's still coaching. So the offensive coordinator at BYU, he and I played receiver together. So I never wanted to coach. I never dreamed of being a coach. And honestly, I had a thing against coaches when I was younger. I listened to them and respected them. But if you couldn't run and show me anything, and if I could look at you and tell that your background wasn't football, and what, especially the grit that I got from the Elks, it was hard. I respected you, but it's like, I know you wasn't really about this life. I look at you as more of someone who talks about it. So I never wanted to be a coach. because I always held coaches to a certain standard.
Yeah.
I need to be, when I said, people were lucky that Google wasn't around when I was a kid. Because I'd have been Googling, man, you ain't played, you ain't touched the field. How you going to tell me? And you ain't never done this before.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, would you go to a surgeon that had never cut a body open to do any type of performance surgery at all? Would you take it if he just hung around and read books about it? Would you let him cut you open?
Mm-hmm.
No. So I was like that.
Yeah.
When it comes to coaches.
So do you think that has changed now? Because it seems like a lot of coaches now do come from, more of a player background. Do you think that's changed a lot?
It depends on. The higher up you go, the less experience they have at playing.
Yeah.
To me, it's almost like you aren't qualified to be a head coach in college unless you didn't play a lot of football. It's like the less you play, the more qualified you are.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because it's set up for certain people to get those jobs.
Let me ask you this. Let me make this point. You mentioned that a lot of players that you played with are now in the coaching game. So how important is it for these young kids when they do get to the collegiate level for them to make those contacts and make those friends, not just for future, but for, like you said, development as a man, development as a person. And also down the road, they may say, hey, I remember you from college, won't you come over here and, help out a little bit? Or, even like you said, they're, a higher ranking coach. They may be able to help you out in some way. Do you think that's very important, or how can you stress that to the young man? Do you try to do that?
It's very important. I tell people to pay attention to your surroundings and always be open to learn. A lot of times you can learn just by being quiet and listening.
Yeah.
Just be quiet and listen. They'll tell you all the secrets.
Yeah.
I think you're not paying attention. That's my approach to BYU. I was quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about me, but I listened to them.
Right.
I listened to what makes everything tick, the loopholes in the system that they spoke of. And I just was able to exploit them.
Yeah.
I still use football to this day. I don't coach for a team, right? I don't coach for a team.
Mm-hmm.
I own my own company. Huh? I don't work for anyone. I own my own company.
Yeah.
So I tell people, even if you're a head coach, you're still hired help because you can get fired.
Yeah. If you're not
it's not
guy,
yours.
You have a potential to be let
go. Yes,
it's
not yours. You always had a potential to be let go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something my dad instilled in me. My dad used to tell me all the time, son, if you don't like the rules, make your own. My dad used to tell me that, son, if you do not like the rules and how they play the game, get your own.
Yeah.
So with training, I've been able to set my own standards, my own rules, and I go by them. Just like a head coach has standards and he has things that he set, for his team to follow. And he's not going to bend backwards or bend for anyone. I am the same way, no matter who you are. You can be an NFL coach, a college coach. If you come to me, you have to follow my rules. If you don't, there's no need to even talk to me.
Yeah.
And I'm so comfortable with that. I am so comfortable with that, that I'm not dependent upon that.
What kind of reaction do you get when you say things like that?
What kind of reaction can you do? 9 times out of 10, they're calling me, asking me for something. Mm-hmm. They want to contact with a player I work with in development. They want the end. They want the relationship. They want, if this kid's not returning their calls, they realize if I like you and I think you're a good guy, I can either, hey, call this coach real quick. And they turn around and call real quick.
Yeah.
And it's not that I have power, I have trust with that kid. So I'm not calling them. They call me. Now, what I have done, I've spread myself out and I've helped to develop other trainers. And they're not up under me. I tell them, no, they're not up under me. I help them to build their company. Okay. I did that purposely, knowing because I learned going through BYU and listen to people. I want to be able in a couple of years to merge and have a huge company and take over. So I put people in certain places and I've taught the game and I've tested to see can you handle the pressure?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to slowly build your company? Now, it takes a while to build a foundation, but once you got your foundation, you can put whatever you want on top of it.
Yeah.
And it won't crack.
Hey, I want to thank everyone for tuning in for part 1 of my interview with Margin Hooks. Hope you found it informative. Part 2 will be coming out very soon, but in the meantime, go ahead and check out the rest of my podcasts, my past podcasts, and get caught up on everything. Then when this one gets posted, I'll let you guys know. Appreciate it.